So what you're going to want to do is download the starter. So Music Store Database Chapter 8, that starter file that I've got right here. And because we've got various versions of the Music Store and there is a database involved, you may want to change the database name to something like Music Store DB Chapter 8, which would definitely be unique. And then we have to do update database. And while that is updating, this is the view model that you are going to be creating. So we are going to be creating, okay, waiting for that to get done, and it finally got done. So I'm going to go over and just verify that that database got created. Yes, and I have a rather obnoxious number, but this should be Music Store. I should see Music Store Chapter 8. There it is. Got lots of music stores in here. Okay, yes, it's all there. All right, so I am going to create a view model folder. So I'm going to add a folder. And I'm going to call it View Models. And then inside that, I'm going to add a class. And the name of the class is Artist View Model. And then this is the code that I need in the Artist View Model. And so yes, you guys finally get to copy paste. Yay. So now that we have our view model, let's save it here. What we're going to do next is add an action method to our album controller. And the action method is going to basically process this and send the data to a view. So I'm going to put this in the album. And it doesn't really matter where you put it in here. Okay, just as long as you don't put it inside another action method, that would be a problem. So we are creating our artist view action method, creating our object for our new model. And we're going to set album equal to context.albums.toList. So this is accessing the database, grabbing all the albums and putting them in a list, and it's storing it in our album property. And we're basically going to do the same thing here with artist. And we'll add a semicolon after the curly here. And now we can just say return view. and we can pass along the data. And you want to double check, make sure that you have using Music Store view models at the top. Now, I'm pretty sure I put that in there for you, but you should double check and make sure it's there. Otherwise, it's going to, your code's going to look a little bit angry. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up inside our views. You should have view imports. So we're going to open that up. And we're going to add a using statement. Music store dot view models. And we'll save that. And the next step is to create our artist view. And we're going to be putting that in our album folder. So under views and album, we are going to add a new view here. And we're going to call it artist view. And I'm going to pause while I put in all of this code. So at the top, you can see we're pulling in the artist view model. We've kind of already walked through this code. We've got a nested for each, which is kind of looping through the albums. We're going to retrieve the album that matches where our artist IDs match. And this is set up using the grid. So we're going to have the artist on the left, the image on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and run a build. And then I'm going to run my app. And you'll notice that I've already adjusted the menu. So artists and albums is what we want. And hopefully yours displays just like mine. And then you do want to kind of check the rest to make sure nothing broke. And that looks pretty good. So at this point, you are done with creating your view model. And you can close out of the app and you can upload it to GitHub.